Obviously, there's a place in the Disneyland theme park, but it's just a word. And every time I heard it, I started feeling optimistic and happy versus the future that I think that we're kind of getting presented with. And I love the Hunger Games, I love the Mad Max films, I love the Terminator and the Matrix, but I don't think anybody is showing us a future that we would want to live in. So I wondered what would it be like to see a place like that and how would it make me feel? And then that was sort of the jumping off point for the film. I hope that they're going to be surprised. I know that it's very hard in this day and age to get people to go and see a film if you haven't shown them the entire thing. So I hope that if people will take the leap of faith to buy a ticket to this movie, or the people in the premiere crowd tonight, that there will actually be some oohs and ahs, moments that they did not see coming. My hope is that everybody walks out of the movie a little more hopeful than they walked into it. There's so many reasons. Obviously, I think Brad was trained in the Disney way. His mentor, Milt Kahl, came out of the Disney factory. He thinks like an animator, but he's one of the most interesting and innovative, original storytellers. He's got a great sense of humor, and he's an amazing leader. I think if someone's going to direct a movie, it's really just about their ability to convey what they want to hundreds of people around them, if not thousands. And every little detail of this movie is managed by Brad. Our thinking was that George doesn't really do films like this. He doesn't do big summer movies. He doesn't do adventure movies. He does very serious films. So we never thought that we'd be able to talk him into it. But I think that when we sat down with him and said, this is what we're trying to do, this is what the theme of the movie is, we're really trying to say something about the world that we live in, we sort of appealed to his conscience. And he signed up. And we had a really great time making the movie with him. You could call it a family film. You could say that it has science fiction elements, but most importantly, I describe it as an adventure movie. I think that it's a good old school, quest movie, and those sorts of movies, Close Encounters, Indiana Jones, that I grew up on. Those are the movies that Brad and I talked about most when we were sort of conceiving this thing. As a father of an 8-year-old, it's hard to go and see a movie that he loves and that I also love. We wanted to make a movie that didn't talk down to kids, that they could understand, but obviously something for their parents to enjoy too. And I do feel like this idea of wanting to think about a better future and what it takes to make that happen is something that kind of stretches across all age ranges. So, and it's really reflected in the cast. Britt Robertson, who had done some television work, some indie film, but when we first saw her, I think we realized that she was something extraordinarily special. She had to be the lead and carry this movie all the way up until George Clooney appears in it, which is quite amount of screen time, and then go to hold her own against George. And then of course Raffi Cassidy, her father sent us an iPhone video of her reading one of the scenes, and Brad and I were just mesmerized by her, and we're like, that's Athena. We just knew it in our hearts, and I think the audience always likes to discover a new face, and they're about to discover two. Two of the leads of the movie, Hugh Laurie and Raffi Cassidy, are from here in the UK, so it's nice to be on their home turf. But I do feel like I think that the English crowd, you always get an entirely different energy than you do in the States. I won't say it's superior, but it is. No, but I just think that the enthusiasm that we get every time we come over across the pond, as they say, is just extraordinary.